Good morning, everyone. I want to speak about our attention today, and I first want to read to us the scripture, and then we'll talk about it. So, I'm going to read to you Hebrews 2, verse 1. It says, "Since all this is true, we ought to pay much closer attention than ever to the truths that we have heard, lest in any way we drift past them and slip away." Now, in Hebrews 1, he speaks of righteousness, he speaks of God speaking to us through his Son and no longer through the law and the prophets. And the whole book of Hebrews is, almost those comparisons between law and grace and the covenant and that kind of thing, and always bringing us back to Jesus, the high priest, Jesus, our sacrifice, Jesus, the one who's been tempted, and that Jesus is always the one who just, he trumps it all. But the reason why I want to speak about this is that oftentimes we have this attitude that because we are under grace, under the covenant of grace, that we kind of just take things for granted. Sometimes, okay, I'm saved, so I'm okay. Sometimes I don't really need to push in for something because, God will sort it out, and maybe that is not your attitude, but sometimes I think we have this mentality of I can get away with something. But I want to urge you today, and if you look at this scripture of Hebrews 2, he's saying since Jesus basically trumps it all, we need to pay much closer attention. Okay, so I'm not going to speak about I'm not going to get into the detail of the scripture specifically here, but it is a principle that I want to get across, that we cannot have this attitude of kind of just, it just is what it is, we are okay, at least we'll go to heaven one day. God is waiting for his sons, and that includes ladies, for those who are born again, to be revealed. We don't want another generation to pass away where the promises of God is not revealed on this earth, where the bride is still not sanctified. You understand? In spirit, we know that we are sanctified. I'm speaking in the process of soul and body. We don't want another, even just in your personal life, another 10 years to go by where you are not seeing heaven on earth. And I know for me that is true, where I'm calling out to God and I'm saying, Lord, there's so many promises, so many things of glory that you have given us just in the word, and then many of them personal prophetic words that people has given us or that God has spoken to us, and Lord, I don't want to miss any of that. Now I know there's certain things that we break through, and certain times there is a timing on when God reveals something. But the word is true, and I know that we need to pay much closer attention. So if there is anything that we can do, if you may be wondering, God, what still can I do? Pay much closer attention. And I think because sometimes we think, oh, but I know that. Okay, so it's not necessarily that we think, oh, I'm okay. We just have this idea, but I know that. I've read that. I've heard that sermon. I've read that chapter. But today my encouragement is just this: pay much closer attention. And for me, that's a word for me this morning, and I hope it speaks to you too. Bless you.